Good evening and welcome to the Kass Spotlight. My name is Levi Kones. Tonight we're discussing matters to do with kind of different topics from young people who are from the University of Moi, or Moi University if you please, discussing on various issues that concern the youth, that concern us as Kenyans, that matters that are current events and also matters that are political events. With me is two young people. I'll let them introduce themselves before we have a chat.
From Moi University, School of Information Science.
I'm Geoffrey Mola from Moi University, School of Information Sciences.
Right, Albert, Geoffrey. Let me start by asking you guys a question. Albert, what would you say about the current issue of tribalism in this country? Are we doing better? Are we doing worse? And if so, why?
Actually, Levi, my take is, one, the situation is pathetic. The country is running on tribal lines. Everything is seemingly going towards tribal affiliation. If it's going to get better or worse, the thing is, based on past experiences, based on arguments in politics, based on arguments in religious spheres, anywhere, you realize that over time we are getting worse and worse. If there is hope, I would say maybe it can change, maybe someday.
It's getting worse. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'll join my colleague here by saying the situation is one thing. Everything that needs sobriety, a lot of discussions with sober mind has been turned into politics. And once it goes into politics, it becomes tribal. And that is so bad. In each and everything that is being discussed in our country, I think we are getting even to worst situations. And that's so bad.
But let me ask, when you see people talking the way they do, like on social media, is that politically motivated, or is that just young people doing their own thing?
The roots is politics, but now it's growing through the young people. Initially, there was a problem. The politicians, the society planted that in the youths. I believe the young people have, say, better things to talk. They have passion, they have other things. But now when the politics and the way they have been brought up gets into their mind, that's where the tribal element comes in.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'll agree. Simply because in our country, with the way we are brought up, it seems that through politics is when somebody can acquire power, somebody can acquire wealth. And so, it's the aspiration of the young people to get rich. So somebody thinks that getting a political inclination will automatically make you be rich. That's why people will fight if somebody they elected doesn't clinch the seat, simply because they know that is their person, and when he gets to power, the level of their living, the standards of their living will rise. So I think it's politically motivated, and that is why each and everything that is discussed finally degenerates into politics again. Yes.
It's interesting that you should say that, considering that right now we have, for the first time, a presidency that is dominated by young people. Do you believe that they have helped the situation get worse? Is that what we're saying here, Alfred?
Well, we'll start with the definition of young. It's good we have a government.
Well, they're younger than the governments that were there before them.
That is the yardstick. They're younger, but not necessarily young, if you look at it. But the truth is, behind them, the brains are not the young brains. Look at the people who took them as projects. I'll take our president, for example. Look at where he's come from. It's basically the minds of the previous presidents pumped through a young person into the country. So basically, I'd say, well, the image is young. What they might want to present is young, but the brain is not young.
So you say but they are at fault, are they?
They are, indeed they are.
You agree with that?
Yes, definitely. I want to agree with Albert here. And I'll say that it is the brains of old people trapped in the bodies of young people. That's why you realize that the president will talk about the current generation, even the deputy, and the aspirations they have might be directly linked to the young people. But the way they do them tells you that it is an old person operating. That is why you'll realize that the kitchen cabinet of the president consists of old people, and through them, through the president, they manage the states of the nation. So the young people can be so much encouraged that they have a young president compared to presidents that have been there before. But currently, the things that are happening are not different from the ones that had been happening there before. Yes.
But you guys need to tell me, though, it's interesting that you can say such things and analyze it so well and be able to actually look back and say, well, it's been brought by these old guys with their old mindset, and now it's kind of even you can talk about the current presidency is full of young people with old minds. Yet you practice it even in your own day-to-day activities. I mean, I want to just look at, for example, your campus politics. It's full of tribalism, and you guys are young people, and yet you grew up not, having your only best friends as people from your tribe. I'm sure many of you are very good friends from across the board. Why do you guys take it even to your campuses?
Maybe to answer you on that, I think, as young people grow up, there's a pace that has been set by those people ahead of them. So you realize that because the way young people operate, sometimes, not always, they tend to take whatever the old people do. For instance, in government, those people who take the leadership in government, the young people tend to observe and do exactly what the people do. And that is why you realize that even in campus politics, like in Moi, it's not once, it's not twice, but many times. Initially, the politics of campus were issue-based. People will vote and argue out on issues that could affect students or the school as a whole. But currently, it has gone tribal, and that is the worst situation that we are in, because Kenyan politics has gone tribal. So you can imagine a university taken to be the pinnacle of education, people practicing tribalism to that extent, to an extent that a university can be closed because of the same. You can imagine what is happening at grassroots levels. What are those people supposed to be doing, and how are they supposed to be behaving? So I think the problem starts with the examples that have been set forth. The examples that we follow are not the right ones. And however much you try, I think the efforts that have been put forward by young people...
But they have come short.
They've come short,
well,
yes.
What we are saying, Alfred, is this, that we can't break away from this. You guys must follow it. And you guys are campus students.
Actually, maybe I'll just to add on and make now the stronger point is,
yeah,
true, what you see outside there is where we have taken the politics of tribe into the university. What you don't see is who is funding this. One, in university, I believe we are not that rich. We have not got into the market. We have not made money. Levy, I'm going to tell you that even right now, tell me you're going to give me 10 million to be on any platform campaigning for a certain tribe, and I will do it. Because, one, I believe it's my future I'm making. I want money. So what the politicians have done is they have identified that. They look at the students. What runs in the university is politics, but behind it is clearly
is money.
Money. What happens is the COD affiliation comes, spends money on a certain group. The bigger COD, the tribes affiliated to COD, come and sponsor the smaller groups in campus. Jubilee does the same. So ideally it's a game of the same political arena in the national level, just now in a smaller area.
And you guys are unable to break it because of your love for money?
It's said that money is the root for all evil.
We need money by any means, eh? Geoffrey?
Yeah, not necessarily money. I think to add on money, there are also some political interests that come along. Because if somebody gives you money, the way he said, but he promises that after you've clinched the university post, there is a wide opportunity for you to get into national politics, which also practice tribalism. So in a way, you might be in your own soul interested to curb these tribal politics. But the situation, the environment around you will make you or force you to find yourself in the tribal politics. So you're affiliated to either Jubilee or COD, because after life after campus is also there. You have to live your life, then after campus you also have a life to live. So maybe apart from money, you also have something else to do. And if it is in politics, then definitely you go to either Jubilee or CORD or whichever political party that will be there.
Yeah. This is all very sad because one doesn't ask themselves, so what then is the solution? Or is there no solution? Is that what you guys are saying here? Are we stuck in this forever and ever?
Actually, we may be stuck forever and ever, but we shouldn't be stuck forever and ever. The reason is we may because what we do is we transfer the same problem over and over each generation, and nobody ever clearly comes out of it. And the true leaders are never elected. I'll say this, and this is my political stand. In the last general election, we have Uhuru as our president, we have the opposition being led by Laira. But ideally, in those who contested for the presidency, those are not the best leaders. Either way you go, Jubilee, CORD, whoever we chose, whoever we elected, was not the ideal leader.
Who should we have chosen? And why didn't we?
Why we elected them, only that we elected that leader in Facebook, Twitter platform. When we went to the likes and the social network, indeed we knew who the ultimate leader would be. But because now...
I think you're talking about Kenneth, aren't you?
No,
just it's Spotlight. We speak openly.
Well, yes. If you look at it at the bigger picture, whatever he was standing for, whatever his visions and whatever he laid out to the nation was real. And based on what he had done before, he was promising. But we chose to go with politics of numbers, the tribes, because we are pulling this on towards us. And other people are saying, no, that tribe has had it twice. And then they're like, no, this has, if we capture that number and that number, we are good. So what I'm saying is, we may be in that situation for long, but we shouldn't. If at all somewhere along the way the society really grew into being brainy and noticing that tribe is, would we say a small element of life. What the difference is, tribe is what you talk and what I talk.
Yeah.
If we can do away with that and realize that our brains function the same, and we live in an ideal situation where the society is good and I care for you as a brother, not as whichever tribe you come from, then we may end that one.
I hear you.
Yes.
Your solution?
Yeah,
And do you agree, by the way? Was Kenneth the best leader?
Yeah, to me he was. To me he really was. Because
Did you vote for him?
I should have. I should have voted for him. But the way I've said before, the environment around me
Compelled you?
Compelled me. Yeah, you used the right word. Compelled me to vote because
the way you voted.
Kenneth also is, we were told he's still young, he still has a future in politics. So maybe I think the next elections, if he rise, I'll vote for him. But my point is...
He doesn't agree with you, but we need to wind up.
Okay, what my stand is, we are in a pathetic situation, but it is not the end of the world. There are solutions to it. Now, I think even the institutions that we are in, because they are situated in places that some tribes come from.
Yeah.
So I think it is a deep-seated problem that we have to root. We don't have to get the top layer out of it, but there is a deep root that should be uprooted. And that is getting the tribal aspect from each and every individual, from the grassroots level. Because this is where the problem begins. You know, it is seen at the top there, but it is even worse at the bottom. Even in the universities, where they are situated, people come and the people work around the staff. You know, the people who come from tribe, and certain tribes are more than the others. So tribalism starts generating from different platforms. The way he has said, I also support that it is a problem that we should deal with the mind. It should not be something that we deal with a particular individual saying, like, you know, the times when people are talking of 41 against 1. Such are the things that will plunge this country into more problems.
So it starts with us?
It starts with us.
Are you guys willing to start?
Yes, of course we are.
I hope so. Well, thank you for coming. And I wish you well. And go and change your votes.
Thank you.
See you guys. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back after these messages.